We are continuing now with our Meet the Candidates series for the 1st District congressional race. That primary is less than 2 weeks away from Tuesday, September 5th. Early voting, as you know, is now well underway. Our guest today is John Goncalves. In addition to being a Providence City Councilor, he's also a teacher at the Wheeler School in Providence. He's a candidate in that crowded CD1 Democratic special election primary. Councilor, thank you so much for joining us today at our Meet the Candidates series. Great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
Now, we know it's a crowded primary, 12 candidates. Is that too many people?
Sure, it's a lot of people, but we're getting our message out to voters every single day, and that's what it's all about.
But in the sense that 12 will undoubtedly water down the vote, and at the very least, maybe not have a resounding mandate from voters to say somebody could win with, say, 20%. What does that mean to you?
Absolutely. Well, it's just a byproduct of the dynamic of the campaign, but we're doing everything that we can to get our message out. You know, I've got a strong base of support on the east side, but it's really about getting out to the other communities and sharing our message with voters.
So as a guy with limited name recognition and resources coming into this, I mean, name recognition outside of Fox Point,
sure,
but district-wide, how were you able to navigate all of that, those 12 candidates, and then still get your message out in maybe an election? And I don't know what you've heard, but a lot of the candidates have told me, you know, A, they don't expect a big turnout, but B, a lot of people aren't even aware there's a special election.
Oh, exactly. And it's really about engaging with the people that have been really supportive of this campaign. We're proud to say that we've had over $150,000 in grassroots contributions from people all across the state, and we are a grassroots campaign. So what that means is going out to different communities, talking to voters directly about the issues that they care about, whether it's Social Security, whether it's Medicare, whether it's making sure that we're putting families, our children, our families, and our seniors first. And so we're out every single day talking to voters about the things they care about.
I would imagine, though, John, a lot of that's difficult given the fact that of those 12, the majority of those candidates are pretty much on the main issues for CD1 voters, pretty much on the same line. So how do you separate yourself there? It's about the person, I would imagine.
I would say so, but I think there are some distinctions in our platform.
For instance?
For example, I'm someone who supports the Social Security Expansion Act. So there are folks who just want to maintain the status quo on Social Security. I would vote to expand it. When we think about
Republicans want to cut it.
Exactly. And so we need to stand up to some of those extremist Republicans that are trying to undermine things that people care about in our communities. When we think about the cost of housing, the cost of living in Rhode Island, these are big concerns. And I've been doing that work on the ground floor at the local level for years and years. And I think that's an important distinction. You know, I'm not parachuting in from somewhere else. I've been in the community doing the work. I'm born and bred. You know, I grew up in Providence. I'm a teacher at the Wheeler School, and I think those deep-rooted connections really set me apart in this field, and I think we're going to see that play out on Election Day.
So Election Day is quickly approaching. Early voting has started. Did you have any plans to deal with early voting? A lot of candidates are now getting on board with that after seeing maybe what happened in the gubernatorial election last year with Helena Folks and Dan McKee. The Folks campaign didn't necessarily take it as seriously, and they regretted it later. What has your approach been to early voting?
We're taking it very seriously. We've had lots of conversations with folks. We're turning out our base of support, and that's what we're going to continue to do from here until Election Day. But it's really about getting our message out far and wide. I think people are pleasantly surprised to know that there are other candidates like myself in this race.
Other than the 4 people they see on TV.
Yeah, and I think it's a byproduct of, look, we don't have as much resources as everybody else, but what we do have is a strong message that resonates with voters. And yes, we don't have the same kind of money as everybody else, but we do have.
But you get into the race knowing that.
Yes, absolutely. But remember, this is about people first. So money or your story or your background shouldn't be a prerequisite into being able to serve people in the 1st Congressional District. And I think that, you know, race, power, privilege, that shouldn't undermine our ability to get our message out to voters. When they hear our story, again, I think it really resonates with them, and they know we're going to be a fighter for them at the federal level.
If you weren't in this race, who would you be voting for?
That's a very good question, but and we've been asked it. I would say it's certainly a woman of color. I'd like to see different representation in Washington, but ideally we can win this race and take it across the finish line.
Well, you're confident in your candidacy, I don't doubt that, but if you were a voter, and I'm sure, as you said, people are asking you, you know, John, what do you think? You know, because you've been in politics, you understand.
Sure. So yeah, I think that's my response. But I encourage voters to really look deeply at the candidates and to check out our platform. JohnGForCongress.com. In fact, we have a really, really robust platform, and I think when your listeners see our platform and what we stand for, it's going to resonate with them.
All right, we'll end it there. John Goncalves, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate it.
We appreciate your time as well. Good luck in the campaign.
Thank you so much.
All right.